So for anybody who doesn't know what the Montreal Screwjob is, in 1997 Bret's contract with the WWF was up and he was planning to jump ship to WCW. But the problem was that if Bret was the WWF champion at that time and he had to drop the title, and it was planned that Bret would drop the Survivor Series, but Bret refused to drop the championship because Canada was of course his hometown and he didn't want to lose at Canada. Vince McMahon feared that Bret would take the championship to WCW. He screwed Bret Hart. How he did it? During the match, as Shawn Michaels locked in the sharpshooter, Bret hadn't tapped out, but Vince McMahon yelled at the referee to call the bell and end the match. So it's one of the most controversial things in WWE history, and still today in 2018, people talk about it being real or not. So today we will be discussing 5 reasons why I think Montreal Screwjob was a work. Number 1, Bret Hart returning to the company. So if you work at some place and your boss screwed you and you left the company, is there ever any chance that you'll come back? No, you wouldn't. But Bret Hart did. In 2006, he came back and even accepted the Hall of Fame induction. And in 2009, even had a match with Vince McMahon. It's really crazy. And I think this is the reason that this whole thing is a work. Number 2, the win-win situation for both parties. Now, if we look closely at the aftermath of the event, Vince McMahon became one of the greatest heels in the WWE history. That automatically made Vince Stone Cold the biggest babyface of all time. This is considered to be the dawn of the Attitude Era and marked the start of WWF turning the tide in the Monday Night Wars in their favor. After the event, Bret left the company and went to WCW, where he made enough money, and I think even more than what he used to make in WWF. So it's my point. Like, both parties did better after this. Number 3, presence of Vince McMahon around the ringside. So if this wasn't a work, then didn't Bret Hart find suspicious that Vince McMahon, who used to be on commentary at that time, did not do commentary and instead he was at ringside for the whole match? Okay, maybe Bret was told that they would be at ringside, but that makes it even more suspicious, right? WWE repeatedly ripping off the Montreal Screwjob. So at Saturday night's main event, Shawn Michaels faced Shane McMahon, and the finish saw Shane locking in the sharpshooter but on Shawn, and Vince yelled the referee to ring the bell, giving Shane the victory. Not only that, in Payback 2016, Natalya faced Charlotte for the Raw Women's Championship. The finish of the match, exact similar to the Montreal Screwjob. And what was the main point to be noted here was this was in Montreal, Canada, and Bret Hart was there in Natalya's corner. So if this was one of the biggest controversies of Bret's career, if this wasn't worked, and if this was shoot, then why would even Bret agree to do that? Why would Bret agree to that finish, and why would Bret agree to be there? Right? And the final reason, WWE talking about it. Yep. And now it may sound a bit crazy, but when the controversies happen in the WWE, when big controversies happen in the WWE, they usually stay aside from this. They don't talk about it and they don't mention it. But this case is a lot different because WWE have mentioned about it and they've talked about it way too much.